North East Arnhem Land is a spiritual land, and it has really strong cultural beliefs on the land and in the sea. And in the Yolngu culture, everything is balanced by Doa and Iricha. Doa and Iricha is like two moieties and caretakers of the land. Everything in the land and everything in the sea is Doa and Iricha. The main concern of Yolngu is to be able to carry on with the strong culture for the next generation and the generation after that. Without the culture, you're nobody. Without your land, you're nobody. Without all the sacred sites and the sacred ceremonies, you're nobody. We want our culture to be strong forever.
We're here on a World Exhibitions trip supported by World Nomads. It's a community project travel trip. My name's Reese, I'm the leader of this trip. And what we're doing in this is cleaning up the beaches, removing a lot of the rubbish that gets washed in, especially the giant ghost nets. A ghost net is the big nets that come off trawlers, either prawn trawlers or fish trawlers. And when they have problems, when they get stuck on reefs or stuck on the bottom, they cut them loose, or for other reasons they dump the nets, and the nets can be up to 1 kilometre long, very heavy gauge rope, and it's obviously become a huge problem for marine life.
Hi, my name's Phil. I work for World Nomads. I'm not really quite sure what to expect, apart from it being a bit hot, a bit windy, and a bit of hard work. Breaking out of my comfort zone a little bit. So I think it's going to be a great group to come with. So I think it's going to be interesting.
Hi, I'm Sue Russell.
I'm Robert Russell, and this seemed to be a better way of coming to understand some of the issues that are facing communities that we read about in the paper in the comfort of our Melbourne home.
I'm just thinking the ghost nets, I'm hoping they're not too many because I reckon they're going to be real hard to dig out of the sand. I'm sort of expecting there'll be lots of other sort of flotsam and jetsam that we're picking up and cleaning up, and just to do that with a group of people whose land there is, I think is a total privilege.
A lot of that rubbish that comes from northeast, especially from the big Asian fisheries, it all washes through the Arafura and washes up on the eastern side of the Top End Peninsula. The land for Yolngu people in this area is incredibly important. They've got very strong ties, and of course any damage to that land, whether it's by ghost nets or other rubbish sources, is a cause of concern for the big problem to this community.
Our hope is not to get more rubbish on our beaches, not to get more marine debris washed up on our beach, because it's just ruining the land. Not only that, it's destroying the marine wildlife and the marine environment. It's really bad, and it's really sad to see that happening on our country.
The journey begins with a road trip from Laynhapuy out to Cape Arnhem. This is the far northeastern tip of North East Arnhem Land, right on the Gulf of Carpentaria. This is the place affected most by the ghost nets. While we're out here, we'll be working with Vanessa and the Dhimurru Sea Country Rangers. Sounds like a great job. I think I want to be one of those when I grow up.
I'm Vanessa Drysdale and I am Sea Country Facilitator for Dhimurru Aboriginal Corporation. I take care of the Sea Country team, so I've got 4 indigenous rangers that work with me, and we do all sorts of work on, mostly about sea country, marine-based stuff. Dhimurru itself is, as its name suggests, an Aboriginal corporation set up by the traditional owners of North East Arnhem Land. We're just about natural and cultural resource management. Well, we do a marine debris clean-up every year with World Expeditions. They're a very valuable project partner. So we can do here in 3 days what it would take us weeks to do on our own.
Here we are, 7 Mile Beach this is called. This is where we're going to start, first day. Everybody's got their gloves on and been given a bag, and we're going to get into it.
This beach is littered with bits of plastic and rubbish, but it's not long before we find our first net and start digging.
Woo! Woo! Well done.
I've got to tell you, it's great working with these guys. Sort of a mutual appreciation society. We're so grateful for everything they're teaching us about this country and their culture. And they're so kind and thankful to us for lending a hand.
My name is Patrick White, and I am a senior sea country ranger at Dhimurru Aboriginal Corporation. And at the moment we're picking up lots of marine debris at 7 Mile Beach. And this is one of the designated areas for Dhimurru to do beach cleanups. Every year we do 2 beach cleanups. We come across a big amount of rubbish and ghost nets on this beach that drifted along from maybe overseas, somewhere, God knows where. Yeah, it's pretty sad to see our country getting ruined by marine debris and just wrecking the place, you know?
Look, it's quite sad really. I've only been doing this for 5 minutes and the amount of rubbish here is just unbelievable. There's some Indonesian disinfectant, a little bit of fishing gear already. But sad, but also funny, because this is where Indonesian thongs come to die, and I think I've got a pair. Oh no, if you're lopsided.
Well, it certainly feels like productive work. I've never felt you just have to walk a few feet and you pick something up. It's amazing.
Keeps us busy.
Yeah, it keeps you busy. And but I can't believe the amount of rubbish here. It's just amazing. I was saying to Phil before that it must be this huge sink. Vanessa said there's these currents that come in from Southeast Asia, where there's hundreds of millions of people and all sorts of shipping. I mean, people, thongs and laundry baskets and just incidentals that just must get washed off, off a boat. People don't think anything of it, but it just all mounts up. It all just gets collected here. It's wonderful to be here because it's so exhilarating, the beauty of this place. But and at the same time, I've never felt so productive. It's wonderful.
Rob's right, it really is stunningly beautiful up here. And getting better with every net we remove. It doesn't take long to fill the trucks, thankfully, because it's hot, darn hot on the beach. Then it's off for lunch. First course, an entree of oysters, fresh off the rocks. A little bit of effort, but delicious. Then the main course.
We've come down to the mangrove swamp at low tide. Plenty of mud. We're looking for mud mussels. Feel for them with your toes in the mud. Apparently at the bottom of the mangrove roots is where you've got to go, so let's go over there and see if we can get one.
Mangrove swamp on a creek in the Territory. I'm feeling a bit like food, you know, a crocodile's meal, but the rangers assure us this one's crop-free.
Yeah, there's the little stagnant pools.
Yeah, this has been a traditional food for us for many years, thousands of years. So, and they're still here today. Yeah, once we collect them, we'll put them in the fire, and there's a special way we cook them.
Not really a mussels guy, but stupidly I've fessed up that I have a thing when you're travelling that you should try everything, so I'm going to have to try a mussel now, aren't I?
Only 5 minutes.
I'm just about to Welsh on my deal, but anything could happen. Sorry.
Another day, another net. It's amazing. The best one is the television screens. There it is, sitting propped up on the, waiting to be collected.
There goes another net. We had to pull in the big truck for that one, and still couldn't get it all out. Needed a sharp blade in the end. There's still half of it buried under there. I reckon a few more tides come back, maybe it'll wash up to the surface, but I think they've got another one up there as well. The sand's really soft in the trucks. You know, they can get bogged pretty easy. You've got to try and keep them on the hard stuff, so because a lot of the nets get washed up in the back and the soft stuff, so if they didn't have these quad bikes, I don't know how they get some of this stuff off the beach. They really are a very useful tool.
And to all those people who donated to this project through the Footprints Network, well done. Your money's keeping these quad bikes fully fuelled and working hard.
Today's been really hot, a lot hotter than yesterday. I mean, there's, you know, we're on a beautiful beach and everything, and but it is quite physical work, and you don't really have the time to actually look at the scenery or anything like that because you're too busy picking up rubbish. It's rewarding but very hard. Quite hard work. Not exactly a beach holiday, that's for sure.
One of the most remote places in Australia, long away from any city, and yet you can find more rubbish than nearly any suburban beach. Very soon, we've almost filled up half the truck. Doesn't take long to fill up these bags. There's heaps of rubbish out here.
Many years ago, this really wasn't happening. All the wildlife at the moment is just, it's crazy. It's like, it's really upsetting for us Yolngu people because Yolngu people, we have a strong connection to our land, and to see so much rubbish washed up in our country it's very sad to see, and we want to keep our ocean clean and we want to keep our land clean.
It's sort of like not fair really, because you know, like, you're in one of the most remote parts of Australia, one of the most remote parts of the world really, and You know, when you see the way they live in a semi-traditional way, they sort of don't have any connection to, you know, the consumer world, but they get all their rubbish. And but it's not easy. It's not like you can go, hey, everybody stop throwing stuff in the water, because there's so much of it from so far and so many places. It's sort of, I mean, you feel good when you fill up a bag or you find something big, like a TV screen. But then you look how big the beach is. And it feels a bit futile, really.
Ghost Nets Australia has made contact with some fisheries just to try and reduce the numbers, to try and talk to fishermen about, you know, looking after their net rather than throwing them away. Just to talk to fishermen and say, hey, look, this is what's happening, this is the impact of what, you know, your fishing habits or your procedures is, that, you know, there's this widespread impact. So trying to get people to think about what they do with their net rather than just throwing it away.
With the trucks loaded, it was back to camp, but no rest for the weary. We've got to find out where these nets come from.
We're helping Ghost Nets Australia collect data. You can identify who's manufactured these nets by the number of strands, the thickness of each piece of rope, and the distance between the knots. And once they're identified where they're manufactured, then they kind of know which fisheries they've been to. So we can ring them up and go, stop doing that! 1, 2, 3, 5 strands. Thickness is 5 mil.
So they 3.
What's this one, though?
This is a turtle killer. This one's really bad. It's the one that we find all of our turtles wrapped up in. You can see it's really fine, it's light, it's camouflage, it's perfect, perfect for entangling wildlife. And I'm actually really surprised, I'm just having a look through now to see if we can find any bones in it, because it's unusual not to find something in these. I don't know what fishery it comes from, but it's the nasty one.
It's been great meeting the Dhimurru Rangers out here, Bunalo and Azza and PJ. Apart from being rangers and good blokes, they were also in a band called East Journey.
Just the journey, just a passion. And want to show music to the rest of the world, our music.
Not only the music, our culture as well. Our culture, because when we were young, we were inspired by Youth India, by the legend called Mandao Inapingo. And they used to come to our school and talk about music and teach us about music. So from there, we followed their footprints. And now we know how to handle and play music.
The boys are about to set off on their first tour, a big overseas trip. Rock on!
I'm excited about it because I want to see the world while I'm young and while I got the chance to see the world. So I got stories to tell for my grandchildren and show the world the top-end talent.
Final day on the beach. This is the daily ritual, the back massage in the troopy on the way down to the beach. Last day, we've got so much to do. I hope we can make a really big impact.
We've heard about them. Croc awareness is essential in the Northern Territory, and we've been as nervous as a shark-obsessed Pommy backpacker on Bondi. But this is our first sighting of a croc. Thankfully, just a little one. And yet another ghost net, gone.
You come along the beach and you find a little bit of something like maybe this sticking out of the ground, and you go, oh yeah, I'll get on that, and you go, and then the next thing you know, you're pulling on a big rope and you're on the end of this. And it's kind of perversely satisfying to pull one of these and get one of those up. I mean, you don't want the nets here, but when you find one, you're sort of happy to have done it, and because at least you've got it off the beach. So there's this kind of perverse joy in finding rubbish on the beach.
Give me a hand.
Yeah.
We've done some tests. Recently a turtle was left in a net over in the other side of the Gulf, just to see how long a turtle will stay inside a net before it disappears. And it took 3 days. So a full, like freshly dead turtle was hung in the net, and 3 days later they went and pulled it up and it was gone. So even though these nets are empty and there's no bones or evidence of animals in them, it doesn't mean that they haven't been collecting animals during their life in the ocean.
The best way of thinking about it is this. When the fishermen cut the nets free, the nets don't stop fishing. Instead of being pulled around by a boat, they're now guided by a deadly, invisible hand, going with the currents and the wind, swallowing up everything in their path. No one knows exactly how long they're out there, maybe years in some cases. 90% of the nets come down from Asia on the northwest monsoons. Then they swirl around the Gulf of Carpentaria as the southeast trades take over. You get this circular motion, washing nets from one side of the Gulf to the other, and the tides push them up the beach and then drag them back out to sea to do some more damage. Since the ghost nets cleanup started in 2004, indigenous communities on both sides of the Gulf have collected 7,500 nets. You can only imagine how many turtles, dugongs and other marine life have been killed by them.
All right guys, that's it for the day. That's it for the whole thing. Woo! Well done.
Hey!
Have a bit of a look up there and just have a bit of a think about how much ground you've covered and what you've achieved. So you've done a really good job. Thank you guys, it's been great. So
Thank you guys for the most awesome experience.
All done. That was hard yakka, but really satisfying as well. You've seen how much. I mean, we filled those 2 trucks each on every day, so it's really satisfying.
But again, it's issues about pollution and all of us just thinking nothing of the little bit we toss overboard, or the bottle we leave here, or the plastic container there. But when it gets washed up here, you see it. It'd be just wonderful if somehow, I think, people could come here and see this. They'd really think it's so obvious to just look after the environment. Very simple. Very simple.
Have a look down the beach. I feel pretty good about that. When you first arrived, all you could see was coloured spots and rubbish. That's pretty good. I feel pretty proud of that.
After 3 days, 3 tough, hot, sweaty, but very fun days, we've collected 750 kilos of rubbish. That's a lot when you're doing it one thong at a time.